Okay, sorry about that. Again, a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. My name's Courtney. I am the Strategic Partnership Manager at National Contracting Center. Brandon Hall is going to join us from our training department as soon as he is able to do that. But we're going to jump right into things. We just have a few quick items to cover. The first is going to be OEP do's and don'ts. And then we're going to go over some of the special election periods that can keep you writing business all year round. And at the end, we are going to go over just some brief branding tips and some helpful items for you to start now going into AEP season so that your brand is really recognized. So the first thing about OEP is it is really a lot easier than most people think. The big key to OEP is to stay compliant. You cannot market or advertise OEP, but you can use it to help clients that contact you. So what that means is if a client reaches out and they want to discuss their coverage options and they are currently in a Medicare Advantage plan, you can use OEP to help them get in a better Medicare Advantage plan. You could also use OEP to move them from a Medicare Advantage plan back to original Medicare with or without a prescription drug plan, which means that you could take them from a Medicare Advantage plan to a Medicare supplement and add a standalone prescription drug plan. The key to that is making sure the client can be underwritten prior to writing their prescription drug plan and using that OEP election. So if your client is interested in a Medicare supplement, but you're uncertain about their health conditions, write the Medicare supplement, send it through, make sure they get approved for that supplement before you write their prescription drug plan. The prescription drug plan is what will kick them out of the Medicare Advantage plan. As you know, guys, these town halls, we want them to be as interactive as possible. So if you have a question about anything that I'm saying, please type it in your question or chat box, or you can unmute yourself and just ask the question verbally as well. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But again, if it doesn't, you can either give me a call outside of the town hall or message or verbally ask your question within the town hall. OEP can also be used if you are doing check-in calls with your client and they tell you that they're not happy with your plan that you put them on for AEP. You can't, the advertising and the marketing part, you can't call a client during OEP because you didn't get to them in AEP and you need to use that OEP election period. But you can call them to check in with them. If they mention that they're unhappy or that the plan isn't covering something that they thought it would cover, then that's when that OEP election is available to you. That's pretty much the gist of OEP that runs from January 1st through March 31st. The plans are effective the month after you write them. So if you write a plan today using the OEP election, it would be effective tomorrow, February 1st. So please keep that in mind. It's not something that's going to wait until April 1. It does go into effect the month after you write it. And if nobody has any questions about OEP, just a brief little extra tidbit here. Our website is changing. So as you visit nccagent.com, maybe you want to download our OEP guidebook, which you can do through nccagent.com. You'll notice that the website is changing. It is definitely changing for the better. New looks, fresh items, lots of new availability and tools for you guys to use, including our Enrollment Central tool. Also, you have a Medicare supplement quote engine available to you as well. So lots of great items through nccagent.com, including the ability to download the OEP handout that we have. Just makes it a little bit more simple for you to use OEP compliantly and to your benefit. Okay, and these are the SEPs that you can use in addition or outside of OEP. These SEPs are just a small list of a ton that are available to you. So one of the biggest SEPs that Medicare agents use is the dual or low income SEP. That can be used for multiple reasons. If somebody loses their eligibility, you can use an SEP to rewrite them on an appropriate plan. If they have a change in the level of subsidy that they receive, you can use that to move them to a better plan. Or if somebody is just now gaining the subsidy, you can use that to move them to a different plan. Low income clients also have an every quarter election for the first 3 quarters. So they have an election period that goes from January through the end of March, and then April through the end of June, and then July through the end of September. They do not have an election outside of AEP during the 4th quarter. So please keep that in mind. The move SEP, if somebody changes their primary residence, you can use that to move them to a different plan. Loss of employer or even loss of creditable coverage can be used to move somebody to a different plan. And you'll see in the little circle dot thing, the abbreviations on the top is actually what you would put on the application for SEP. The disaster SEP, this one has become more and more interesting as different carriers are recognizing different disasters. And of course, it's always going to vary by state and by county because only certain counties within certain states were affected by a disaster. So please keep that in mind. If you need help with that, your sales development managers at National Contracting Center or any member of our staff can help you navigate if there is a disaster SEP available. And if so, what areas that is going to affect. Disaster SEPs can extend other election periods such as AEP. So if your client was affected by a disaster and they didn't have an opportunity to enroll in a plan during AEP, you can use this SEP, give them an AEP extension, and then write them on the plan that is available to them and going to best fit their needs. It could also extend OEP if they're on a Medicare Advantage plan and they didn't get to change due to a disaster. So again, that's going to vary by state and by county, and it is also going to vary by carrier. Just as an example of that, in the state of Georgia, there is technically a disaster declaration because Mrs. Carter passed away. The only carrier that is recognizing that is WellCare. So you have to be very careful. And again, that's why we're here as your main resource center at National Contracting Center. Is to help you navigate these SEPs, see what's available to your client, and then which, if any, carriers are going to recognize that. The chronic condition SEP is available in any area that has a CSNP, and you have a client that has been recently diagnosed with a chronic condition that particular CSNP will cover. Most of the CSNPs cover a huge variety of chronic conditions, typically that are heart or diabetic related. There are some CSNPs that are specific to kidney conditions, but that is all laid out within the summary of benefits or evidence of coverage for that CSNP. And then again, any client who has a diagnosis for any of the covered conditions has a special election onto that CSNP if they are not already on it. And then the 5-star election is probably one of the most common in areas that have a 5-star plan. So the 5-star election will take a client from any plan and move them to a plan that has 5 stars at any point during the year. So in order to be eligible, they just have to be on a plan that does not have 5 stars. 4.5 stars is not 5 stars. So you can move them to a 5-star plan if one is available in their area at absolutely any point. Hopefully all of this is making sense. I'm not sure if Brandon was able to join us or not. But again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, just let me know. You can do that by typing into the chat or question box, or you can reach out to me after this webinar is over. And then the last thing that I wanted to go over before I turn it over for any questions or comments that y'all might have is branding. And I don't have a slide made about this because it's really just a reminder. Branding is something that you want to do at all points during the year. You want to make sure that there is continuity within the pieces that you're using, be it your business card, little flyers that you're leaving at laundromats or senior centers, or even the bigger ticket items like a billboard or maybe even a television or radio ad. Always make sure that there is continuity within those pieces. Your logos should look the same on everything that you are doing for your advertising. Your contact information should be the same on everything that you're doing for your advertising. And even your colors should be the same for your advertising pieces. This is going to help you create that recognition that people are going to use when they have a question. So everything that you're doing branding wise, it's not necessarily going to affect you tomorrow. It might not even affect you next month, depending on what it is. But it's all a long ball play with branding. So when you're going out and you're doing like an educational event and you're giving your participants like a flyer or a content piece to take home with them, that's part of your branding. use that. Make sure that the colors match a billboard ad or match a flyer that you have left somewhere. All that creates that recognition. It really takes your branding dollars and moves them to the next level. And it will allow you to have pieces that all look the same and really start to get the client's attention, especially the more and more you're out within your community, really working on that grassroots marketing to hopefully take your business to the next level, including everything you do on your website and on your social media posts. Brandon, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you hit that just fine. The thing that I like to talk about branding is, like you said, it's the long ball play, and that a lot of agents, they get caught up in AEP and selling during AEP. What you're doing from now until the end of September around branding is going to pay dividends in your AEP this year, and branding is a huge piece of that. Like Courtney talked about with your business cards or flyers or any sort of documentation that you're putting out there. That's going to pay dividends down the road. So if you don't have a brand, we'd love to talk to you about that. Either us in the training department or our marketing department, we both talk through those types of things. If you have one and you want a consultation and say, hey, how can we make it better? We'll do that too. So we'd love to talk to you about it. It's something that we're passionate about. You're going to see a lot more information coming out in the next quarter around branding from us. So.
Is there any questions? Is there anything that you guys want to go over that is either, kind of throwing a wrench in your plans, or something maybe that has worked really well for you that you'd like to share with other agents? Okay. Well, again, if something changes, if there's a particular SEP that you have come across that has been rejected by a carrier, or maybe, a client that you're having a hard time finding an SEP for, please reach out to us. The sales development staff at National Contracting Center, myself, Brandon, and all members of his training department, we are all more than happy to help you with absolutely any question that you have. SEPs are definitely a niche for us. If there is one available to help your client, we will find it for you. We will help you use it. And we'll make sure that your client's getting on the best plan possible for them. Just reach out, give us a call, shoot us an email. I believe on our website, you can ask a question and we will get that answered for you as well. So please don't be shy. We're here to help you, but we don't always know if you need help if you don't reach out. So give us a call, shoot us an email, anything that you all need. We really do appreciate all your hard work and your partnership with us. We're looking forward to helping you grow your Medicare business in any way possible. So again, whatever you need, we are here. Just give us a call, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.